So this is the tunnel system that we're currently building right now. The Anacostia Tunnel does three important features. It captures 98% of the sewage overflows into the Anacostia. It basically relieves the flooding that's currently going on up in the LaDroit and in the Bloomingdale areas that's been going on since the 1800s. It's been going on for a number of years up there. And then finally, we use this tunnel system to shave the peak flows coming to the plant in conjunction with our enhanced nitrification removal project to reduce the amount of nitrogen that's currently going into the Potomac by over 1 million pounds. So it does three important features or functions. We're currently building this tunnel segment right here, Blue Plains Tunnel. This next tunnel, the Anacostia River Tunnel, we just awarded. We'll be mining from RFK Stadium south and pulling out at Poplar Point, and then turn around going north and in a couple of years with this tunnel segment, March 2016, we plan to start construction on that. This tunnel right here, First Street Tunnel, we're currently designing right now and working with design build teams to start a notice proceed in the fall in October of 2013. So we'll use that for storage purposes to help reduce the risk that currently the folks are having to do up at, or currently having to endure in the Bloomingdale LaDroit Park area. Again, the overall total cost of the program is $2.6 billion, and with the nitrogen project in conjunction with the nitrogen projects, $3.5 billion. As I said, there's a Potomac, we have a tunnel that's being proposed that was back in 2005 agreed to back in to construct a tunnel over here in Potomac and Rock Creek. And these are and we have time right now to possibly look at alternatives. Instead of building this tunnel, is to actually construct green infrastructure instead of this. And ultimately, we have to meet water quality standards. This is not a feel-good project. These are something ultimately we're spending ratepayers' money that we have to, at the end of the day, we have to meet water quality standards with our projects. There's also a tunnel that we proposed in Rock Creek. Again, these are two tunnels, both the Rock Creek and the Potomac Tunnel is something that we're seriously looking at, trying to come up with different ways, particularly with green infrastructure, to reduce or even eliminate the size of these tunnels, or eliminate these tunnels. So our approach on what we're proposing is that we're moving forward aggressively on the left-hand side with the Anacostia River projects. The Anacostia River is really very much impacted by CSOs, and it's a very slow-moving stream. So the tunnel system capturing, of the 3 billion gallons of raw sewage that's going into the district waters, 2 billion gallons is going into the Anacostia. So it's really takes the brunt of the combined sewer issue. So we're moving forward aggressively, building a tunnel system and ultimately we'd like to have green infrastructure up there as well, but right now our focus is on building that tunnel system to address the three needs I just talked about just a moment ago. On the left-hand side of the page there in the green part is the Potomac and Rock Creek projects. And there's time to consider here with this program, with our consent decree, to look at three different alternatives: the green alternative, which we'd like to see materialize; the gray alternative, which we already got approach for; and then possibly a hybrid. Maybe there's a hybrid that maybe out of the Potomac area there's a shortened tunnel, part of a tunnel, or some kind of storage system, plus with a significant amount of green in the Potomac area. But so we're looking at all three different areas. This is, again, under Keith's leadership and the Mayor Gray's leadership, vision for sustainable DC. Our goal for green infrastructure, We're very much interested in providing more local jobs, jobs that potentially can be used for construction as well as for maintenance, long-term maintenance for green infrastructure. That's something that we really need to work hard at, is think about the kind of vision, how we're going to maintain the green infrastructure, that it's maintained 10 years, 25 years, 50, 100 years, like we would do with any kind of other gray infrastructure we have. That's the kind of mindset we need to be focusing on. Obviously, stormwater capture for water, climate, heat, island reduction, nature, obviously, and energy reduction. So our approach is for our green infrastructure demonstration project is to, instead of just committing that we would go and do the green infrastructure without the understanding that we can meet water quality standards at the end, we are proposing that we would do a $30 to $40 million pilot study in the both in the Potomac sewer shed as well as into the Rock Creek watershed, and evaluate the practicality and efficacy of the green infrastructure for CSO control. In other words, we have to put our money where our mouth is and vice versa. I mean, we have to make sure if we're going to say we're going to do a green infrastructure, that we ultimately meet water quality standard goals that's outlined in the federal consent decree. So we've gone through a comprehensive approach. We've selected sites. We've identified institutional issues. Those are things that we'll have to, we've identified institutional issues. There are a number of things that have to be resolved. Public outreach, design, construction, monitoring, evaluation, and a series of technical memorandums have been generated to date. So these are the sewer sheds or watersheds that combine sewers service there in Rock Creek as well as into the Potomac. And what we try to do is get representative areas. We don't want to cherry pick areas saying that the expectations we're going to get convert 30% of the pavement into permeable areas by cherry picking this site and cherry picking this site. What we're trying to do is basically get representative basins, both from a residential area as well as in the Georgetown historical area, that are we can monitor both pre and post construction monitoring for both water flow volumes as well as water quality, and so we've identified several of the basins here that we would like to do for the green infrastructure pilot project. If we get the results that we feel like we can make, then instead of spending $30 to $40 million on green infrastructure in those areas, we can potentially balloon that to substantially larger amounts. So to a couple $100 million or $300 million. So from the standpoint, our goal is, first, let's do a pilot. Let's make sure that we can work through all the issues, both from a maintenance standpoint, meet our water quality goals standpoint, and if we can meet those, we would go back to EPA and the Department of Justice, get our consent decree reconfigured with this approach of including green infrastructure, and ultimately not build the tunnels, not build the Potomac and Rock Creek tunnels, and do this instead, or some combination of both. That's our goal. So. So that's kind of to give you the background of why we're doing the design challenge. What we're trying to do with the design challenge is come up with innovation ideas where we can turn around and implement those as part of the pilot study, as well as the overall program for the district. Obviously, we're interested in innovation, not just for us, but across the country. If there's some ideas that come out of this, it can be utilized both from here nationally as well as internationally. We'll feel like we've done a good job. Our goal is, there have been other design challenges out there. Our goal is to do two things. One is the design challenge and come up with innovative concepts, but also be able to build it too, to also be able to build it. And so that's why there's two parts to it, and that's why we call it Green Infrastructure Challenge. So I'd like to